And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Friday. It's August 12th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody. We welcome you to our program here on a Friday morning. I'm looking at the clock in Studio B, and it says a minute and a half after 7. You've caught me by surprise, MJ. I don't know. These clocks are supposed to self-adjust, so we'll let it self-adjust. But anyway, every Friday we're on the air for Wilson Bank and Trust, and this morning DJ Woods joins us to talk about what he does. And DJ, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you?
We're just sitting here having a nice conversation, and all of a sudden, I think I've got 3 minutes, and the red light comes on. I got to start talking. But it's good to see you. And let me tell everybody, DJ Woods, Assistant Vice President, Loan Officer, of course, for Wilson Bank and Trust. Before we get to what you want to talk about this morning, I think I asked you, and I forgot what you said. How long have you been at Wilson Bank?
I've been with the bank 5 years now. It seems.
Right. Did you have other banking experience before you came there, or did you get right out of school and go to work, or what? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so it's funny you brought up the insurance company you had. You originated that book from. You put all these business cards in. When I graduated from Cumberland, I got a job selling insurance. Old-fashioned, it was door-to-door. I did that for 3 or 4 years. Moved out to Chattanooga, and then moved back here to Middle Tennessee, where I'm originally from. And John Foster gives me a tough time for the most part, and asked me pretty much every day if I wish I was selling insurance anymore. And I was like, "No, John, this is about as good as it gets."
But you primarily lend the money?
That's right, yes, sir.
Well, there's got to be, and you know this, if you've been in sales, there's just something about making a sale. When I don't care what it is you're selling, if somebody buys something from you, there's a feeling of euphoria, maybe we could say. There's a feeling of satisfaction. There's a feeling of appreciation. You always appreciate somebody buying something from you. Is it the same way when you make a loan that you've helped somebody achieve the purpose of that? I mean, they need that money for something, and you've helped them get it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it's definitely a big. It's a great feeling to be able to do that. But also, I think, at least for me at Wilson Bank, there's opportunities that we don't always get to make a loan. Sometimes it's not a no, it's just a not yet. So we get to help a lot of our customers maybe build or establish credit and show them ways that while we can't make the loan today, here's what we can do to put proper steps in place so that down the road you can come back and we can show you how or what we need in order to make that loan that you're looking for. So
hopefully you can either say yes or not yet rather than just a flat out no.
That's right. Yeah. So it's sometimes I wouldn't say it's not as great of a feeling. Just depends on the customer most times. If someone is very receiving of the information that we provide and accepting of that, while they may know, hey, I'm not getting a loan today, but this gentleman really helped me out. He put me in a better spot than I was at when I came in here. So that's also a really good feeling I could have day in and day out.
We've had low interest rates. Banks have had low interest rates for so long. I don't know how many years, but I'm guessing 10 or 12 or more, that it's just been a great time to borrow money. And I'm not saying that it's not now, but rates have crept up some. Then maybe they went down a little. What's it look like right now?
Yes. So over the course of the 4 or 5 years that I've been with the bank, rates have been very, very low, to a point, I think, for even myself. We've been spoiled with the low interest rates. While rates are higher than what they have been, I think if you look back at the prime rate, it's about on average to where it's been for the past 50, 60 years. So a little bit higher than usual, but a little bit higher than what it's been in the recent past. But on average, it's about where we normally are.
Well, do you have a particular type of clientele that you mainly cater to, or just you loan anybody?
Yeah, my specific clientele is anybody here in Middle Tennessee. I basically do any kind of loan outside of your standard 30-year fixed rate mortgage. We have a separate mortgage division that specializes in that. You think of any type of loan outside of that, that's something that I could help a lot of folks with.
What would you say you mostly you lend more for than anything else? What would be the number one loan you make?
That's a great question. I think more recently, just with a lot of change, believe it or not, there's in most recent years, you've got a lot of people who've been with the bank, founded the bank, started the bank, that have retired and moved on, and opened up a lot more opportunities for myself. I see myself lending and doing a little bit more commercial loans than when I first started out. So I would say probably small business loans are some of the things that I've been helping a lot more folks out here recently.
Well, I'll bet that you have a lot of respect for a small business. Anytime you start a business and you hang your shingle out here, you don't know if you're going to be successful.
Oh, absolutely.
And a lot of times you do have to borrow money to get started. You go in the hole to start with, and you don't know that you're going to come out.
That's right. I think for some people, I think it's maybe hard to grasp that debt is not always a bad thing. It's just how you use it. Just as we're talking about insurance, it's not. There's a specific type for each person. Depends on what your needs are, and putting the right plan in place.
And then some of that is what you're doing is to help them find that right plan and get them in the right place. Right?
That's right. A lot of my conversations is not originally to sell insurance, it's to see what your goal is, and for us to put a plan in place that's going to help you reach that goal.
Well, where's your office? You're at the main office here?
I am, yes, sir.
Okay, on West Main Street.
That's right.
Wilson Bank and Trust. Anything else you got for us this morning that take care of it?
That does. I was told I can't talk anything about the fair, but we will have popsicles and plenty of them.
Okay. All right. DJ Woods, we appreciate you being with us this morning. Assistant Vice President, Loan Officer for Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. They're still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right. If you want to leave, the man to your left needs to sit where you are. I want to introduce Jim Brown this morning, who is with us for a special reason this morning. Jim, good morning.
Good morning. It's good to be with two insurance agents this morning.
Well, you can put former in front of my name. I might file a claim once every 6 months now, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But I still get my commission check every
That's
month.
good. Well,
nice.
that's a live license right there, it sounds like.
It's good to see you still with the
NFIB, National Federation of Independent Business, represents 6,500 small and independent business owners across the state. And, Clark Boyd is a NFIB member, Senator Pody is a member, but we're a general interest advocacy group that just goes up to the Capitol and the Cordell Hall building and brings our members' views. We poll our members and ballot our members and survey our members and bring those to Representative Boyd, Representative Lynn, Senator Pody, and the other legislators and the governor. So it's been doing it since, been at NFIB since 2004 and been the state director since 2007.
Well, it is good to have you this morning. And
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Boyd, Representative Boyd, it is good to have you. Nice to see you again.
Coleman, it's great to be here this morning. And when me and Jim were sitting here and DJ said his favorite thing to do was to loan to small businesses, we both chimed in. We've got the NFIB director and the chairman of the business committee or subcommittee. So that's music to our ears.
Well, I don't think I've seen you since the legislative session ended. And of course, you won a primary last week without any opposition.
That's right, Coleman. If you're going to do it, that's unopposed is definitely the way to do it. It's a lot more fun.
You look very relaxed, Clark.
Well,
unlike some of the others I've seen the last few weeks.
We do have something of importance
Yes, sir.
to talk about, and I know a little about this. I hope you know a lot and are going to tell us a lot.
Well, there are 4 amendments on the ballot this November. Amendment 1, I'm on the executive committee with Justin Owen at the Beacon Center and Bradley Jackson at the Tennessee Chamber. And we're here really because Clark Boyd and Susan Lynn and the legislature approved successive resolutions. It has to pass in one General Assembly by 50% and then 2/3 in the second. So thanks to their leadership, we are here to talk about Vote Yes on 1, which seeks to enshrine our 75-year-old right to work law into the state constitution. And right to work is very simple. It just says you can't be forced to join a union or pay union dues. but it also says that you can't be fired for joining a union. So there's protections both ways. It's pro-worker. Some people are going to paint it as anti-union. We don't agree with that. We think it's it's a pro-worker law that's under attack at the state and federal levels. 4 or 5 years ago, we weren't contemplating this, but because of what was going on in some states, there was a bill filed this year that would have undermined right to work, not got rid of it, but undermined it. And the PRO Act in Congress, Coleman, it's passed the U.S. House of Representatives 2 years in a row, and it would eliminate 27 state right to work laws. So we think this deserves the extra protection, like the income tax ban. It's right to work is a fundamental right, and it's what separated us from a lot of other states, and it's why we have, one of the reasons we have better economic growth than most.
You feel very strongly about this, apparently, Clark.
I do, Coleman, and just kind of follow up on what Jim said. You know, when there are businesses out there and they're looking to relocate or expand in a different state, and they're looking around at a lot of the states in the Southeast, and particularly Tennessee, that gives us a tremendous advantage, and it is very important to businesses that are relocating. And I would say that it's one among other reasons that Tennessee has become such an economic powerhouse. And we've seen things like the Ford plant out in West Tennessee, and just a lot of the businesses that are relocating to Middle Tennessee. So I think this is it's important. It's already law, and we're just going to enshrine it in our Constitution. And based on most of the feedback that I'm getting, I think it's going to be successful. But people have to remember it's on there, and they need to be aware of what they're voting for. So that's why we're out kind of encouraging people to vote yes on one.
All right. Well, it's good to have you both. We need to take a break right here. This is Coleman Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:16. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. Large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. A little bit of radar this morning on I-40 coming in from Dixon County. Be careful, especially out there around 840. Still looks good at the moment on 24 over here at Bell Road, Hickory Hollow Parkway. I-40 leaving Wilson County headed towards Nashville, starting to build pretty good. Hey, Gatlinburg Winery, it's home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Just recently, in the last week or so, they've gotten some new flavors. Check them all out at GatlinburgWinery.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
To do it and receive.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. And again, we welcome Jim Brown with NFIB. You're the state director.
Yes, sir. The light was on, I think.
And Clark Boyd, our state representative, one of our state representatives in Wilson County. We got 3, haven't we, in the new reapportionment or whatever you call it. We're redistricting. We got your one, Susan Lynn, and we've got another.
Yeah, so Susan Lynn and I split at Highway 109 with the exception of Spence Creek. I jump on her side. And then just a little bit area over in the Tucker's Crossroad space there goes with the legislator that represents Smith and DeKalb and those counties. And there's actually going to be a change that Terry Lynn Weaver currently represents that, but there's a new winner that emerged from that primary named Michael Hale that at some point you'll be meeting, I guess.
Yeah, we hope so.
Really good guy.
All right.
He owns DeKalb Funeral Chapel, and we have a PAC, and we actually endorsed Michael yesterday. He's a salt of the earth fella.
You know everybody, don't you, Jim?
Well, not everybody, but when you're representing your members, you better call them and get to know them and send them surveys and find out where they are. And we're educators. We go into offices and bring information, and they make the call.
But he is a familiar face on Capitol Hill too, right?
I will say this: when I was down there for 1 year before I became involved in committee chairmanship, and the first one that I had was the Consumer and Human Resources, and then now it's Business and Utilities. And Jim Brown we see each other on a daily basis at the legislature because business is that important, and we want their opinion just as we do any stakeholder group. Oftentimes it's the Chamber of Commerce, but the NFIB is a great partner, and they really let us know what do small business owners across Tennessee think about this piece of legislation. What are the unintended consequences? Is this going to put additional burdens on them? And so I will say that I was a member of the NFIB before I became a legislator, but it's one set of dues that I do not mind paying because they're very valuable.
Well,
partners.
I'm a former member myself in my little insurance
This
office.
is a good morning. This is going well.
I always like to have that NFIB sign hanging there for people to see when they came in.
Thank you. It's an honor to represent our members.
But yes on Amendment 1.
Yes on one.
Now, that's a constitutional amendment. We're wanting to change the Constitution here. Now, what is the advantage of having that? I think you might have alluded to it, but you might go over that again. I mean, we have a right to work law, have had in Tennessee, but this is a constitutional amendment.
Right.
It's got more teeth in it, so to speak.
It does. It makes it, it gives it extra protection. It makes it harder to undo. And the opponents are saying that it's going to make it harder to undo. That's correct. We want that protection, and we're here because it's being attacked at the federal level and at the state level. Virginia tried to undo their state right to work law. They're our neighbor. 1947, same year it went into effect. And they had a very active effort to undo it. The governor, Democrat governor, Ralph Northam said, this is a bad idea. I'll look at other things that the labor wants to look at. We're not messing with this. And so, that kind of common sense approach, again, pro-worker, not anti-union, let people decide where they want their dues to go. Coleman, 1 to 5% of paychecks go to, in a union shop, go to the union. And it should be people's choice whether they want that money to come out to the union or not. It should be their decision.
Okay, well, what if the whole situation was different and we did not have our right to work law, and we didn't make it part of the Constitution? What's the worst case scenario? What would we be looking at?
Well, I mean, you want to, I don't want to hog the mic. No, all right. Well, I mean, the worst case scenario is it's gonna get undone at some point. This is protection for generations. It's going to, again, very difficult. The bar is high to get it in the Constitution. It should be that way, and the bar will be high to get it out. And right now, there's an opportunity with our pro-business atmosphere to say we don't like what's going on in Washington with this effort to undo it in the PRO Act. And the PRO Act does a lot more than that. It also eliminates the secret ballot. You'll have intimidation in the workplace. It's a very broad sweeping bill. So this is part of that effort to counter what's going on in Washington and give it the state protection that it deserves. That's it.
And the bottom line is at the workplace level, how this would impact someone if it were to be repealed or we were not a right to work state is people could be compelled to join a union against their will. They could say, if you work here, you have to pay your dues. And in some cases, people are forced to pay dues that are not part of the union. And it could be a requisite for employment. You could be terminated for not joining or terminated for joining. I mean, so this really just protects the workers in Tennessee. And it says, if you can, do you want to unionize? Sure, you can if you get enough signatures and you do that, but you can't be compelled to. And that's the protection that we want. We're not against unions. We're not for unions. We just want to protect the workers. And Tennessee has a long, strong, rich history of being right to work. And we just want to continue that. As Jim said, we are probably a year or two ago that we wouldn't have considered this, but after we have seen in other states like Virginia that have had it as long as we have, and they are contemplating or there's a movement to do away with it, and then at the federal level, the attack that we have seen on the workplace recently, particularly with this administration, we think it's important that we not just have something on the books, but that we enshrine it in our Constitution.
We have a PAC at NFIB. I mentioned it earlier, the NFIB Tennessee PAC, and it's endorsed Representative Boyd and Representative Hale, mentioned him, Representative Lynn. But we don't take the dues from NFIB members and direct it into the PAC. It's very separate. We have to ask our members if they want to contribute to the PAC for political activities. It doesn't go through the dues into the PAC. You have to have it's a separate thing. And we make that clear distinction. And I think people that see 3-5% of their paycheck go into dues and get directed into a political activity they may not agree with, that doesn't resonate, I think, with a lot of Tennesseans.
All right, but back to Amendment 1. Now, this, again, is a constitutional amendment. It's going to be on the ballot in November, right? This in our general election on the Tuesday after the first Monday in November this year. I think that's the way it's written. Well, I don't know what the date is, but it'll be that Tuesday. It's election day, and that will be on there, and people can vote for or against it.
All right.
And you're saying vote for Amendment 1.
Vote yes on 1.
Yes,
and
yes on 1.
The website is tnrighttowork.com, and the number 2, tnrighttowork.com. There was Governor Lee and Governor Haslam. Governor Lee is our statewide chair. Governor Haslam is our treasurer. We just released a video Monday of the two of them. It's a 90-second video, and it's online now. And News Channel 5 just did a big story with our views and the union's views. It's a really good story for folks who want to see it. But go to tnrighttowork.com, and you can get all the information on this.
There was another thing you said we might.
Yeah, the tangible personal property tax. It's you remember this, Coleman, when you had to run around and you had to inventory all your stuff in your business every February 1st. You had to get it into the assessor's office by March 1st, and you had to remember all the new things you bought, and you fill out this schedule and you send it in, and then you get, there's depreciation and all that stuff that has to go into this. It's a very complex formula. And you're sitting there going, why am I doing this? I'm only going to pay $6, $8, $10, and I'm spending $50, $100, $200 of my time and my CPA's time. This doesn't make sense. So most of my members, our members, they really don't like this at all. And frankly, a lot of the local assessors and the trustees that have to collect the money, they don't like having to deal with the hassle when someone doesn't file of going to collect $10. It costs them hundreds of dollars to collect it. So it's very inefficient. There are some counties where this is a little bit higher revenue stream than others. So we've got a study coming from TASER. It's the Tennessee Advisory Intergovernmental Committee of Intergovernmental Relations. Yeah, sorry, TASER. And so anyway, TASER is going to issue a study after a lot of testimony and input from all the interested parties. And Chairman Boyd and I are going to read it, and we're going to figure out if we can improve it or get rid of it. And the options are get rid of it. If they say get rid of it, the only way you can do it is constitutionally. There's a uniformity clause that says you got to treat everyone equally. So I'd like a de minimis exemption for my members, but I'm not sure it's constitutional. I'm really eager to see the report so I can go to the members and say, this is the route we can go.
I do remember that. Seems like I paid about $7 to the county and $1 or $2 to the city. It was on your office equipment or whatever. So you're going to do the study, but what's your general idea here? I mean, it can't be, I wouldn't think that big a revenue stream, but it might be vital to some governments. I don't know.
We think it's about, and it'll be in the report, we think it's about $500 million to local governments. We are sensitive to the local governments and their revenue because the hall income tax was phased out. There are pressures on revenue at the local level. So are we going to, get kumbaya with the local governments and we can just go ahead and get rid of it? Probably not. But is there some sort of mechanism that has occurred in other states where there's some sort of fee based on revenue or something else that's fair to the businesses, that you don't have to run around your business for 10 hours and 4 hours and do this nonsense? And, we could agree to it, maybe. So we're just interested in what the report says other states are doing and what could be possible in Tennessee based on our Constitution.
And one outcome, Coleman, may be that we just simplify the process, or we create a easier way to do it, or a minimum little fee that people can. We don't know that yet. We've got to see the TASER study, but there's a lot of different ways to skin this cat.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, I hope you can get that at least simplified. The money is not that big a thing. It wasn't for me. Now, for some businesses, it might be quite a bit of money, but regardless, it's kind of complicated, and if you can get rid of the complication there, I think that'd be a big step in the right direction.
I've got a member in Cookeville that's paid more on, he said there are 3 pieces of equipment. He's an HVAC guy in Cookeville. There are 3 pieces of equipment that he ran the numbers on. He's paid more tax on those pieces of equipment than he paid for the initial equipment and the sales tax on those purchases. I mean, that's crazy.
If you joined us late, Jim Brown with NFIB, he's the state director, and Clark Boyd, our state representative, is with us, and we're just got a minute or two left here this morning. But our initial subject was vote yes on one. And Jim, if you will, summarize that real quickly as we leave.
Sure. We're seeking to enshrine our 75-year-old right to work law that's under attack, put it in the state constitution, give it the extra protection. It's your First Amendment freedom of association. If you believe in that, this is what this will do. If you believe in not being forced to have your paycheck go somewhere where you don't want it, then vote for this. If you want that, then you're on the other side of the issue. One other thing to mention that's very important is there's 50, we've got to have 50% of the folks plus one, 50% plus one of the folks who vote in the gubernatorial election. They have to vote to get this. It's not just a 50%. So if you're voting in the governor's election, don't skip it. And the other three amendments, I'm for. One of them is Senator Pody's amendment, I think, about the ministers. That's Amendment 4, about letting ministers run for office. Amendment 2 is about when a governor is temporarily incapacitated. Amendment 3 is removing that old slavery language. Those are all good amendments, in my opinion. So don't skip them. Vote them all. And I'd say vote yes on all.
Vote yes on one particular.
Go to one and keep going.
Jim, it's really good to have you. Thanks for
sir.
calling and telling me about this. And
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your visit.
Thank you, Coleman.
And Clark, always good to see you. And have a good time.
Hey, got to say that MJ, I drove to East Tennessee and on Wednesday, and I caught you at 6 o'clock in Nashville. I got you all the way to Carthage, and I got Ronnie Millsaps and BJ Thomas this morning, CDB. It is I don't like the new stuff. I like the old stuff, and it's really, really good.
Well, thanks again. That's part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Bates Ford. They've got the Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. It's $49.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. Tire rotation safety check to 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's quite heavy, but it's moving on. 24 westbound coming in through Rutherford County up through the Hickory Hollow area. Still looks good out here in Wilson County with the exception of some radar through parts of Mount Juliet. Watch your speed this morning, especially over there around 840 as you come down I-40. Gatlinburg Winery. It's home of the world famous cotton candy wine. Just recently, they've got some new flavors. Check them out this weekend at GatlinburgWinery.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Morning looked like a night at the county fair.
Moon Pies, free bicycles, and Granville Getaway weekend package valued at over $600.
Stop by our air-conditioned cabin, bring your fair food, rock on the front porch.
See what the 95 counties in Tennessee has to offer.
See you at the fair, and remember, don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medana Himmentoller at Exit Rocky Top Realty, C&D Team, 443-3130.
Night at the county fair.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, the personal service you've depended on for 35 years is available wherever you are. Open an account today and have access to your personal checking or savings accounts 24/7 when you bank online or use our mobile app. With 21 different kinds of accounts available, our dedicated e-banking team makes opening online easy, safe, and convenient. To get started, visit wilsonbank.com. Wilson Bank and Trust, Middle Tennessee's community bank, member FDIC.
Contact Stephen Lowry Land Clearing for all your land clearing needs. Whether it's clearing trails for ATVs, reclaiming pasture, or clearing your land of brush and trees, Stephen Lowry can get the job done. He works closely with customers, adjusting to make changes as you want. Steve Lowry will give you quality work at a price that you can afford. He will also beat any written estimate. Call Stephen Lowry at 615-970-8154 for all your land clearing needs. That's Stephen Lowry Land Clearing, 615-970-8154.
We're entering a dry and more mild pattern to kick off the weekend. Look for a high of 84 today with partly cloudy skies. It really won't feel that hot out thanks to much lower humidity. Saturday is just as nice, so get outside if you can. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number one Ned.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part two. Here on a Friday morning, we welcome the Exit Rocky Top Realty C&D team, and that consists of two people today, Dana and Miss
Good
Judy.
morning.
Good morning.
I got you both turned up. All right, good morning. Say it again.
Good morning.
Oh, you pegged the needle there. All right. Well, we always remind you they're located at 1330 West Main in Lebanon. Somebody answers the phone 24/7. They're people you can trust. Really great people, great service, and I think that's something y'all prided yourself on all these years, offering great service, telling it like it is, and taking care of people's real estate
That's
needs.
what we try to do. We always, sometimes the truth hurts. Sometimes when people come in and they want to buy this or buy that, and we're like, okay, let's get you qualified and let's see exactly what the loan officer says that we need to do to make you comfortable with your payments. And before we go show you a lot of houses that you go fall in love with, and then we go, guess what? The payment's going to be more than what you can afford right now or be comfortable with. So then we're going to have to go back and show you other houses, and you've already fell in love with that one. So it's better to take them a step at a time. And some people put the cart before the horse, and they go, let's go look at this house. First, we want to know, is it going to work with your budget?
Mm-hmm.
And people necessarily can afford it, but is it going to be in your budget? Because affording something is one thing, but on long term, is it going to work for you? And we don't want to see people, where they're married to their house and they can't even go to the movie one time a week without, blowing the budget. So we try, especially young couples, we try to work with them. We've been there, done that. So we try to help them in that direction. You don't want to be married to that house and not have fun, and then that house is not going to be so nice for you anymore.
You just said used that expression I have never heard before, I don't think. Married to that house.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then we have couples come into us, go, we got to sell this thing because we can't go anywhere, we can't do anything, and the payment is just, we thought it was going to work, but now it's not, and now we've got a baby coming, and we've got to think about this. So, we see the other side of it after they've done it. So we try to guide them in a way as parents. Sometimes we feel like we're the parents for them, and kind of like the parents away from home. But we guide them, and then, of course, if they make that decision, then we honor what they're the last word in everything. But we still try to guide them in the right direction so that they will make it a fun transaction, and later they can look back, and when they get ready to sell that house, it's been worth buying that house. Because real estate is about investing and having an enjoyable place to live, but in the end, making some money from it. And if you're not going to do that, you might as well just rent.
That experience shows with her every week, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. You always learn something new every day.
Oh, you could have been a school teacher.
Oh, I don't know. I'd probably be in jail if I was nowadays.
But no, I kid you a little bit. Yeah. But you've acquired a wealth of knowledge, real estate knowledge, and practical application thereof, and I appreciate you sharing.
Well,
that
you've
with
got
us.
to be the real estate agent with the business mind, but then you've got to be a person that really cares about the people and their feelings, and it's not about getting your commission check and going away, bye-bye. It's like a relationship for long term. That's what we look at. But anyway, we're going to talk about everything's booming out at the fair. The rides are going up. They're going up quicker this time than what I've ever seen it. Yeah. And it is busy out there. You go out there and it's like busy everywhere you look. But it's coming together really good. And we're working on the cabin this weekend and getting the moon pies in and opening all the boxes. So we've got a lot of work to do between now and next Thursday.
Fair's a lot of work for y'all, really.
It is.
And
not as much as it used to be with Mike
time.
Building he's not having to build the cabin.
Well, I know somebody asked us yesterday, don't y'all take off during the week of the fair? I'm like, are you kidding me?
No.
Every year we're going to, but we don't. Oh. And it doesn't work that way. So I'll let you talk about what
it always gets busier during the fair than before or after.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, we're always looking for listings. We're always looking for whether it be residential or commercial. And speaking of commercial, I wanted to throw out there, we have buyers that are looking for commercial business buildings. They don't, not necessarily the land, but already a building on the property. We have a lot of buyers that are looking for a commercial building to put their business. So, if anybody has anything like that, give us a call and we'll be glad to share it with our buyers. And we're also always looking for listings. We have, of course, I talked about last week the investment properties that we have all throughout Wilson County, and we have one in Jackson County. And then we also have a Pigeon Forge. Remember, we don't just still stay in Wilson County. We have commercial property in Pigeon Forge, and it is right on the parkway, and it backs up to the Wilderness Water Park of Dolly Parton's. So it's 7.61 acres. So it's right on the parkway, and the traffic count is unbelievable. Of course, you can only imagine what that would be, but it is on up in there like 30,000 a day goes by there. Wow. So if you're looking for a business or something or land or anything in Pigeon Forge, Sevierville, that's commercial, give us a call for that. But we also have a farm in Watertown that we're looking for a new buyer for. It's perked for a 4-bedroom. It's 80 acres, all fenced in. And so it's listed at $879,900. So give us a call. We're always looking for listings. So if you're looking and thinking about putting your house on the market or wanting to decide, remember, go ahead and do that because October is one of the best-selling months, always. All right. So we want to go ahead and get you started getting it ready to put on the market if you want to get it on the market this fall.
And I'll switch back to the fair a minute, but this year they're celebrating the 95 counties in Tennessee, and we're helping to celebrate in the city of Granville. And up at Granville, there's lots of things to do. They're giving away a big Granville package for a weekend package as one of our gifts to give away. And we're going to have also Barney, and Granville's the town of Mayberry and celebrates the town of Mayberry. So we'll have Andy and Barney. We'll have stand-ups with them. They'll be there where you can get your picture made, them outside the cabin there. So they'll be standing outside our cabin. You can go up and get your picture made. And there's no cost for any of this. But we'll just want to celebrate the area of Granville this year.
Great.
So we just want you to come by, visit with us, get a moon pie, cool off, and bring your fair food. We're not cooking, but we will give you a moon pie and a bottle of water.
and open for business all the time during the fair.
All the time.
All right.
That's
right. I guess that's about it for today. And your last word is always.
So remember, don't make a move without us.
All right. Thank y'all so much.
Thank
Have
you.
a great week.
You
We'll
too.
see you next Friday. That's Miss Judy and Medina and the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. Right now, we are something like 18 or 19 minutes before the hour. George, if you want to move over here, that would be nice. George Walker is with us this morning. We've got something to talk about I don't think we've ever talked about before, but I don't think we've ever had something like we're going to be talking about before. But it is a summer event as opposed to what happens with the polar plunge. We're having a lunar plunge this year, right?
This is a first annual throughout the state. I don't believe any other area has even done this as well. This was a brainchild of one of the management team members, Ed Beanzinger, and we're going to be doing a lunar plunge this year, which consists of, it's really just an open swim. Typically, as you know, we come to you in January and ask for people to plunge into the cold water.
Mm-hmm.
This time we're going to be just asking people just to come swim on August the 20th from 7:30 to 9:30 at the Jimmy Floyd Center at the outdoor pool, and it's no charge. So what we're really doing is trying to promote individuals with special needs and promote Area 27 Special Olympics, which deals with Wilson County and Trousdale County, and trying to encourage any student that would qualify for Special Olympics to come out and be a part of us.
All right. George, it's nice to have you with us this morning, and I was expecting to see Ed, but he's not available. And you've been here with him a number of times. It's good to see you, really. And you're you're still affiliated with Cumberland?
I'm still affiliated with Cumberland, associate professor, physical education and athletic coaching, so still with them, yes.
What got you involved with the Special Olympics?
Well, I got involved with Special Olympics in about 1993, years ago, with the area director in Cookeville. He was good friends of mine and started working with individuals with special needs. And of course, I've always been involved in athletics. And with him, it just sparked an interest with me, making sure that individuals with special needs were, in Special Olympics especially, were seen as athletes, just like athletes within a school themselves, and kind of treated the same way. We have various events that they participate in: bocce ball, flag football, basketball, and tennis. We're getting ready to start a powerlifting team possibly this fall, and it's an outlet for individuals with special needs to be able to come out, be involved in athletics just like their regular peers within the school, and just be a part of athletics.
Yeah. Well, you've had the Polar Plunge for a number of years, which is a fundraiser. This is a fundraiser as well. At least donations are going to be appreciated, but it's it's a different approach. And I don't know who thought of this, but it seems to me that there might be some people who would appreciate a lunar plunge more than a polar plunge.
I think, of course, it's swimming season, as you know,
right.
and just a lot more people, I think, would care to get into the water than they would in the middle of January.
All right, we need to take a break here, but let me remind everybody, this is Saturday, August 20th, so that's a week from tomorrow.
Yes.
Right, a week from tomorrow, and it's on Saturday evening, 7:30 to 9:30 at the Jimmy Floyd Family Center outdoor pool. And most people know where the Jimmy Floyd Center is, 511 North Castlights Avenue here in Lebanon. And again, you said there's no charge, but donations will be appreciated. So in that effort, it is a fundraiser.
That is correct.
George Walker with us. We'll take a break here. More coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And at 7:47, let's see what's happening on the roadways. I want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. Large inventory of new and used Kubota mowers, RTVs, tractors, hay equipment, and more. Come in Saturday. Free popcorn. Check out the new Kubota products. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, THP. Reported a wreck on 40 eastbound in Benton County around mile marker 134. I can see it on that Tennessee River Bridge there on I-40. Just before you get into Humphreys County, again, that's on 40 eastbound just inside Benton County. It's got traffic backed up on that bridge on I-40 eastbound. Traffic's building pretty good now on 65 southbound coming past Trinity Lane. Ripley's is hiring for all 10 attractions, offering great pay and perks. Apply online at ripleys.com. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
A devastating defense that returns 10 of 11 starters.
Sack! Jeffrey Simmons!
The King, Derrick Henry, back on the road to punishing defenders.
Derrick Henry just went 60.
All led by the NFL Head Coach of the Year, Mike Vrabel.
Brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Bates Ford, Steve Mall Plumbing, The Jewelers, and the City of Lebanon Gas in Tennessee. 811, call before you dig.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our final segment now for a Friday morning. George Walker is with us. George is a professor at Cumberland University, but you're primarily in what, physical education?
Physical education in the education department. So,
yeah. But you've been there 20 years, you told me.
Been there 20 years, yes.
And looking forward to school starting again.
Getting ready to have school start back up and have the students come back and learn some more, hopefully.
Well, Ed Benzinger and George usually come here and talk about the Polar Plunge sometime in late January, February, when it's cold. We're having a Lunar Plunge a week from tomorrow night at the Jimmy Floyd Center, and this is going to benefit the Special Olympics, which you are greatly involved with, which you've already talked about. But this is a 2-hour thing, 7:30 to 9:30, an open swim event. So You haven't done this before, and you're not the only. Somebody else actually. The Special Olympics is a it's a national organization, isn't it?
It is a national organization.
And we, of course, have our chapters here, and we hear more about what's going on here than elsewhere. But somebody came up with the idea of the polar plunge, I guess, a long time ago. But the lunar plunge, this is the first one.
This is the first one,
And,
yes.
and we're going to try it here and see what happens. And again, there's no admission charge, but donations will be appreciated. And you, I take it, George, I won't say you wouldn't exist, but if you didn't have donations and people helping out, you couldn't do a lot of things that you do.
We could not do almost anything without donations. Everything that we do is purely through volunteer, whether they're coaches, whether they are people that sit on the management team, whether they are people that just come out and are involved. So if it wasn't for volunteers, Special Olympics wouldn't exist at all in the state of Tennessee.
You've been involved with this long enough to answer this question really well, I'm sure. What difference has all of this made in the lives of these special needs, especially children? And I guess we're talking about almost from birth up even through high school to have Special Olympics, to have something that they can participate in, which they might not be able to otherwise. You've seen this firsthand. How important is all of this?
It's very important. When an athlete wins a medal, when an athlete just participates, you can see the smile on their face and the appreciation that they have for just being recognized for what they did, and where typically they don't get recognized out in society.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've mentioned there's a number of things that are available, and I mean a lot of sports. I mean, even basketball, I guess, baseball or softball. You mentioned bocce. I believe that's the way you say it.
Bocce ball, uh-huh.
Is that a popular thing?
That's a very popular thing, especially in Wilson County. We have, across from Jimmy Floyd, we have some bocce ball courts, as you know, and Special Olympics was fortunate to be a part of opening that up. We can thank Ed for being a part of that, and we just had a tournament this past a few weeks ago, just to kind of get our feet wet as far as having a tournament involving Sumner County, and it's a very popular sport within Special Olympics.
What about basketball? Is that played?
Basketball would probably be the number one sport that we have in Mount Juliet and Lebanon and Trousdale County, that we have athletes come from to be a part of.
Well, now, do you when you play basketball, for example, boys and girls play together, or are they?
Boys and girls play together. We have different levels of abilities that for teams that athletes are a part of, and then we have an area teams, and then we go to regionals, which are typically held in the Nashville area, and then if we're invited, we will have teams go to the state level.
Mm-hmm. Well, how involved are you in? I mean, is this something you do participate in some way every week, or time to a month, or?
Well, this is something that I'm the Area 27 director,
right.
So I have to really manage the finances, manage the coaches, manage the volunteers, what goes on, and then we have a management team that helps me with various areas within the organization. But
well, you're really involved in it, and I bet that you spend a lot of time doing this.
I spend a lot of time, spend a lot of waking hours thinking about what we need to do, how to get athletes more involved at the school level or out in the community.
You have any idea how many, what kind of number of people we're talking about here, that the special needs children that participate in some way?
Within this county, we have, and Trousdale County, which is a part of us, we have 300 plus athletes that participate. We have bowling, which will be coming up in October. And then, but as far as, we have a lot of community involvement, community athletes, I should say, that are involved in the various sports. And I'm really trying to get more of the school age students at the elementary level to be involved, to come out and be a part of what we have.
All right, this event next Saturday night, the Lunar Plunge, it's an open swim event, and I take open means anybody, but
anybody, yes.
So you will some of these special needs youngsters be there too?
We will have some athletes that are there. We will have, I will be there to tell anyone that is interested in Special Olympics how to get involved in Special Olympics, what sports that we have, to talk to them about that if they want to come out and have their children, get their children involved with us. But it's an open swim event for anybody that just wants to come out and go swimming and talk about Special Olympics.
All right, 2 hours, 7:30 to 9:30, Jimmy Floyd Center. And that's the official address is 511 North Castle Heights Avenue, but I think most people know where that is. And really a big thank you to the Floyd family who, with the encouragement of Mayor Don Fox, made that possible years ago. And that's a really nice swimming pool, isn't it?
Oh, it's a fantastic pool, indoor and outdoor.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, but anybody can come to this, but if you're if you're going to come, there's no admission charge, but bring your pocketbook and make a little donation, show your appreciation. You, as we just pointed out, you and others, Ed and whoever else, Ed Benzinger, y'all, this is something you've devoted a lot of your time, your life to, and you don't do it because you're getting paid a lot. I don't know whether you get paid anything or not, but
we don't get paid a dime in Special Olympics.
You feel certainly see a need and maybe feel a calling even to do this, and no doubt there's a lot of satisfaction when you see the delight and the enjoyment that these special needs children especially get out of what you do for them.
I get a huge delight out of it, just seeing the smile that they get. I mean, just growing up in school, how special needs students really were kept back, and as a former principal myself and teacher, how really they weren't as involved as they should be, and I just feel like someone should stick out a helping hand for them.
Well, let me ask this. I would think that by being able to participate in some of these things, to the extent they're able to, but maybe the exercise, the even growth of their mind, participating has got to really be good in several aspects for them.
It is, and research has shown that almost all individuals with special needs are overweight to some degree, and with just a little exercise, this gets them out where typically today's youth would just be sitting watching the television, playing video games, playing on their cell phone, something of that nature.
Right.
So,
do you? I feel sure I know the answer here, but I'm guessing you could use more people, more volunteers. The more people you have involved helping you here, the more things you could do for these special needs.
We really have a need for coaches for any sport. If they have a child that is special needs and want to help coach, we will welcome them. If they just feel a need that they just want to be a coach and be involved with special needs, we will welcome them as well. We have a huge need for coaches.
All right, what's the best way? Is this number here a good one for you?
That number that is on here, 931-265-8536 is my direct cell phone number if a parent or someone wants to get involved with us.
All right. We've got a couple of minutes here to kind of wrap it up, but this Lunar Plunge, we've been talking about this morning, something new. This is the first one ever, as far as I know. Somebody came up with this idea. If we're going to have a polar plunge, in the winter. We're going to have a lunar plunge in the summer, and it don't get much more summer than August, July and August.
This is correct.
The dog days of summer.
That's right.
Although it's a little bit cooler today and yesterday than it has been, but it hasn't been 100 lately. But this is next Saturday, August 30th. I'm sorry, next Saturday, August 20th. August 20th, a week from tomorrow night, 7:30 to 9:30 at the Jimmy Floyd Family Center, the outdoor pool, the Lunar Plunge, an open swim event, and everybody is invited. Everybody is invited, and bring your pocketbook because donations are appreciated, but there's no admission charge, and hopefully that's going to work for you, that people are going to come out, they're going to enjoy a swim, and will donate generously to help what you're doing.
Well, this is the first one. We're going to try to work out the kinks and try to make it better.
And hopefully we can say it's the first annual.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
George, it's good to have you with us today, and keep up the good work at Cumberland, and hope you can keep on helping people with the Special Olympics as you've been doing for a long time.
Well, thank you very much for having me today.
Our pleasure. Well, again, George Walker, and that is it for a Friday. I hope you have a nice weekend, and if all goes well, we'll be back here Monday and start another week all over again. And until then, I wish you a fantastic day.